Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we'll be discussing the Izanami Forge, some tips on how to make your runs much smoother and faster, how to unlock the forge, and how you can absolutely obliterate the boss in a few seconds. So if you haven't started the quest to unlock the Izanami Forge, you can begin that by just killing Vex, preferably on Nessus, since that's where the next few quest steps take place. Similar to the Gofanin Forge questline, the item will just randomly drop on the ground, and this one is very long. If you thought last Forge's quest was lengthy, then oh boy, set aside the rest of your day to finish this one. These filler introductory quests are very exhausting, but thankfully the Forge itself is actually very fun. Now with this reset, not only did we get a new forge, but we also got the bow frame and the pulse rifle frame. Both are pretty good weapons depending on your rolls of course, and with the right perks the pulse is a monster in PvP. And even if you don't get good rolls on the bow, keep it because you will need it for the Volunder Forge puzzle. From what I've heard, you can also get the new Black Armory exotic bow to drop from both Gofanin and Izanami. So there's definitely a reason to unlock this and grind these forges right now. I'd highly recommend unlocking Izanami because it definitely is the easiest forge to date. Partially because of our increased power level when we're actually over leveled now instead of under leveled like when Volunder Forge released, and also the boss is ridiculously easy to kill, and I'll show you how you can melt him in just a few minutes. So the setup for this forge is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll go over it anyway because it might help some of you out. There are 3 platforms, 2 outer ones on either side of the main one, and you'll want to set up your team so that one player occupies each island. While your first priority should be having players go where they are most comfortable, I'd recommend putting the highest power player in the middle with the forge because the middle platform has the toughest job. It's very open and you have to be running around collecting the batteries while also dealing with the normal and phased enemies, so it can be very chaotic. The players on the outside platform should be killing everything in their area and then throwing the batteries up onto the middle platform. This can overwhelm the player who's throwing them into the forge in the middle, so when you see a lot of batteries stack up, just launch yourself over to the main platform and help them clean up the enemies or throw batteries in. Having the 2 island players just throwing batteries to the middle will really save a ton of time and allow everyone to consistently be killing phased enemies to keep the clock running. I'm sure that's pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised at the amount of players who just don't even bother heading out to the other platforms. I'm sure there will be questions about this, so I'll answer it now. If you want to know where the small drones are for the butterfly keys, they circle around the pillars on the left and right islands, and if you have a teammate on each one, they can take care of them as soon as they spawn, but you can also kill them solo with a sniper from the main platform. Now for melting the boss, what you're going to want to use is Sleeper Simulant. That's right, we're breaking out old Sleeper here because we're going to take advantage of its splitting lasers that are going to allow us to get insane damage on the boss. Like, I'm talking crazy DPS. You could easily solo this boss and kill him in just a few seconds if you get lucky with your shots. Thankfully, there's no drones you have to shoot on this guy, so taking him out is only a matter of waiting until his shield rotates. Now, his shield is there to protect him, but it actually does more harm than good. As you'll see in this clip, when my teammates and I shoot his crit spot, you'll see the laser bolt split and ricochet. At 636 power, I'm hitting his crit spot for over 80,000 damage. And since the laser of the Sleeper splits 5 times, each of those ricochet lasers does a little over 20,000 damage each, meaning I'm actually getting 100,000 extra damage from these lasers bouncing off his shield, which funny enough is actually more damage than the initial Sleeper shot. So a total of 180,931 damage at only 636 power, which is absolutely disgusting damage, especially since I'm still good ways from hitting max. Having 3 people in the game all shooting Sleeper is easy mode, and I'm honestly kind of wondering if this is actually going to be patched because it's so crazy. They'd have to change the way shields bounce lasers or the way lasers ricochet off shields, so I'm not too sure if they're actually going to get around to patching this. Judging by Bungie's history when it comes to certain cheeses or patching things, they left some really OP stuff in the game, like for example the cluster bomb strat. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I feel like this may sneak by and Bungie's going to say whatever, because you know people are going to be able to melt this boss really easily with really anything once they hit max level anyway. So it's probably going to end up staying in the game, which would make it the most efficient method for farming, for the exotic bow, and just for farming forges in general. Take advantage of it now because it's ridiculously fun to melt bosses in a few seconds, and if you're going for that supercharged bounty, this will definitely help you speed through those clears. Overall, I think the Forge is pretty awesome, and I love match-made horde activities. I don't like the intro quests at all. They are super boring and super lengthy for no real reason. But besides that, I'm always up for stuff to grind. I actually did get a pretty decent roll on my pulse rifle, but bow not so much, so we'll have to see if we can get a god roll on that. I'll definitely give my full thoughts after all the content is released in January, but for now, enjoy the Izanami Forge, and I'll have a video on the full Volunder puzzle uploaded very soon. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a fantastic day.